Hello! In this video I'm going to talk about how to tune a violin. This is aimed at parents of children who are learning and at adult beginners. I don't recommend that young children try this because you need to be careful and you may need some strength. I'm assuming no musical knowledge, but if you want to skip ahead to another part of the video, I'll put a link down below. So there are 4 strings: G, D, A and E. So first, let's talk about how to tell if a violin needs tuning. I use an app for this. There's quite a few free apps available for phones and tablets, so I'm using this one. This app is called Violin Tuner, free tuner for violin and fiddle. You select the string you want to tune, for example D. You can listen to it by pressing play. And again. And the arrow at the top tells you whether you're in tune or not. If the arrow points to the left, then the string is too low and it needs tightening up, like this A string. If the arrow points to the right, the string is too high and it should be loosened off. For example, this D should sound like that. But it sounds higher, so the arrow pointed to the right. Let's try E. That's in the green area, so that one's in tune. And G. A tiny bit too low. So, to tighten the strings, we use the tuning pegs and the fine tuners. Not all violins will have fine tuners, sometimes they only have one on the E string, but that's fine, you can always use the pegs otherwise. The fine tuners, if you have them, are only for small adjustments. If the arrow on your app is nearly in the middle, then a fine tuner might be enough. You turn the fine tuner clockwise to tighten the string and anti-clockwise to loosen it. You might have to turn it just a quarter of a turn or maybe a full turn. That's fine, that's quite normal. So I'm going to tune up my D string. Or down. Didn't make a lot of difference, so you can turn it quite a long way. There we go. If the string is very out of tune, and especially if the string is so floppy that you can't get a note out of it, you need to use the pegs. I put the violin on my lap like this, with one hand holding the neck, so that if a string did break, it wouldn't go anywhere near my eyes. Then with the other hand, I turn the peg. You need to turn it just the smallest amount, you can barely see it move. And you need to push in at the same time, in towards the peg box, to stop it from falling out and slipping. So this is quite a noisy violin, so you're going to hear it creak as I do it. There we go. If the peg is really stiff and you're really struggling to make it move and you're really having to use a lot of force, try loosening it off, go the other way, and then go forwards a bit more than last time. With my other hand, I pluck to see if the note is right, and you can check it against the app as well. And finally, if this all seems really complicated and you just want the violin to be playable until you can get it to a teacher or a friend or a music shop, here is a violin where one of the strings is not playable, it's completely floppy, it's not going to make any noise. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to just tighten it up enough to play it. If I'm not feeling confident enough to go all the way up to the right note, just tighten it up to play it. So I'm going to tension the string with my hands, turn the tuning peg to get it back into place. So it's big turns now because it's so floppy. Make sure it lines up here. There's a notch here and a notch on the bridge as well, this bit here. Keep going until that makes a sound. Maybe that's a bit too floppy. Tighten up a bit more. So now the G string is tight enough to play. It's not in tune, but it is playable. But if you just want it to be playable when you're worried about doing anything else, do that. Try not to over tighten it, so it's best if you do go a little bit floppy and a little bit out of tune. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found that useful. So now I'm going to tune a violin using this app. So starting with the G string. That's what it should sound like. I'll do that again. So I can watch the screen or listen again. Let's loosen it off with a fine tuner. That's close enough. D string. Small changes with the the tuning peg. Too high. Whoops. It's outside the green area, so I'll do that again. That's too much. Using the fine tuner now though. Okay. That's okay. A string. Tighten that one up. So you can hear it. That seems okay. Just adjusting with the fine tuner. Great. And the E string. Sounds like that. Tighten it up a tiny bit. That's still too low according to the pointer on the app. That's a tiny bit high, but that's fine. Using the fine tuner, there it is. And here are my 4 strings. Not convinced by the G actually listening to it. Let's check it again. Sometimes when you're tuning, it slips a little bit when you're tuning the other strings. There we go. And check the D. Slipped a little bit as well. And the A. That's back in the green zone now. And the E. That's fine as well. Okay. Ready to go.